lesson. It's just gone past, and we've got most of the regulars, and I can see all your names, which is great. I can't see Master Steve yet, but she should be appearing. Tony's just arrived, so buenas tardes, Tony.
Buenas tardes, Eric.
Linda, I saw, and Debbie, I saw you pop up, but and Rona didn't get a chance.
Hola.
Giselle didn't get a chance to say hello.
Hola.
And Lorna's got her mummy
Yeah.
hashtag up, which is very nice. You obviously use Zoom to chat with the family, which is love. It's nice. No, we'll call you mummy. It doesn't,
Yes.
doesn't matter at all. So let's get.
I'm renaming myself.
Hola, Jill. Can you see me, Jill?
Hi. Yes, we can. We can see you and we can hear you. Yeah.
I'm having to use my iPhone because I haven't got a very good Wi-Fi here.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Okay. So we'll crack on. I'll just get the PowerPoint up on the screen, and we can get going. There we go. Right, now I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn my phone onto silent because
It rang.
it rang this morning. So we don't want any interruptions, do we?
What's this here? I guess that's on the board probably, yeah.
Okay, buenas tardes. Buenas tardes a todos. And bienvenidos a la lección 2 en español plus. Aha. So, qué semana tan fría y lluvioso ha sido. Viene al invierno. What a wet and cold week it's been. Winter is coming, to quote George R.R. Martin. What have we got this week? Well, we're going to kick off by taking a look at last week's homework. We have our book, Crimen en Barcelona. We've got some Spanish conversation from our, I can't remember whether it's 1,000 conversations or 100 conversations now in Spanish. Second part of that. We're going to look at the past tense, and we're going to spend some time banging on about the past tense, the preterit tense, which is one of the past tenses in Spanish. And we're going to do a few exercises as well, if there's time. We might run out of time today. I don't know. I'm particularly keen to do the past tense because that's something that personally I find really difficult to remember, and the only way to remember it is to learn it and then practice it and learn it and practice it, and it's there's no other way around it really. But we're gonna major on that for the next few lessons. So homework, la tarea de la semana pasada. So, for last week's homework, I asked you to write some sentences using okay. There were quite a few incorrect uses, which kind of suggests that I didn't do a very good job of teaching you about it. But I think it was Bryn who suggested if you can swap loci for the thing, you've probably used it in the right way. So here are some examples, correct examples of the use of loci. And, you know, if you are struggling with it, don't worry about using it. It will drop into your conversation from time to time, things you want to say. the main reason I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention was that it's used an awful lot in Spanish conversation and writing, and it's one of those words, one of those little phrases that if you've not heard it before, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you try and translate it literally, which is what we're still trying to do most of the time. So you sort of need to know its meaning. So Bryn's suggestion, the thing, is quite good. If you're going to thinking of using it, can you substitute loke for the thing in an English sentence? And if you can, it's probably okay. So, number one, creo que lo que se sabe sobre las ballenas en Ecuador es que vienen cada agosto. I think what's known, or what is known about whales in Ecuador, is they come every August. So lo que, fine there. Lo que te hace falta es un coche nuevo. What you need is a new car. Perfectly good use of it. Hace falta is a way of saying what's needed, or hace falta is another of these phrases that you hear quite a lot in Spanish, and it has a number of different meanings. It can mean you've run out of something, or you have a need of something. You could perfectly well say lo que te hace falta, what you need, ... is, or you could say lo que necesitas, lo que necesitamos, whatever the conjugation requires. It means exactly the same thing, so don't worry about that one. Lo que pasó después de que me fue anoche fue terrible. What happened after I left last night was terrible. So again, you can swap what for the thing that happened. So that's a good little test. So if you were saying what happened after I left last night, you couldn't swap what for the thing. It doesn't work. So ¿qué pasó? What happened is what you'd use for that. However, you can use lo que perfectly well in a question. So if you wanted to say puedo contarte lo que pasó después de que me fue anoche, that works perfectly well. Can I tell you what happened after I left last night? Can I tell you the thing that happened after I left last? It slots in quite neatly, so that's perfectly good. I should really got Bryn to teach the lo que lesson, because his little thing would have been a good lesson to learn. No sé lo que quieres. I don't know what you want. Again, perfectly okay. And a few more examples from the homework. So a lot of people got this really good. Pat Steele, who isn't joining us on Zoom. I don't think she likes the idea of Zoom, but she is catching up on the recording. She sent them. She got all 6 right. So well done, Pat. Lo que te hace falta es más tiempo. What you need is more time. Esto no es lo que esperaba cuando lo compré. This isn't what I expected when I bought it. Recuerdo lo que dijiste ayer. Remember what you said yesterday. Great. Tengo todo lo que necesito en mi maleta. I've everything that I need. I've all that I need in my suitcase. Good. Excellent. There's a couple of incorrect examples, and there's one example that's not incorrect, but probably wouldn't be used like this. So, no me gusta la película lo que vimos ayer. I don't like the film we saw yesterday. So you can't substitute the thing for loque. I don't like the film, the thing we saw yesterday. It doesn't work, does it? So what you'd say is, no me gusta la película que vimos ayer. It's, that would work better. Esta casa es lo que voy a comprar. This house is what I'm going to buy. Again, lo que doesn't really have a place. You'd say, esta es la casa que voy a comprar. And finally, this isn't incorrect. Lo que quiero comer es una pizza. The thing I want to eat is a pizza. It sounds a bit odd unless it's in a particular context. So I thought, if you've been asked ¿qué quieres comer?, what would you like to eat? Or ¿qué te apetece comer? What do you fancy eating? And you said, lo que quiero comer es una pizza. I think it would be fine in that instance. It just sounds not quite right in that disjointed sense. So I'll send lesson notes round, amended lesson notes, after sometime this evening, hopefully, and on there I'll put a link to a video, quite a short one, about loque, and I think that will help people to understand when to use it, when not to use it, and it's all about getting familiar with it. And it is a tricky phrase, so don't expect to, pick it off the shelf and be able to use it perfectly straight off. So,
Eric, can I ask something? The second last sentence, esta casa es lo que voy a comprar. I went by that video that you told us about to listen to.
mhm.
And that said, if you had a conjugated verb on either side, that's when
Yeah.
you use loque, which is
Yeah,
not there, don't you? So, and it doesn't work in this case.
it doesn't work in this instance. No, it doesn't work.
I thought that was a good rule, and then I looked at that. I would have put loque in there as well.
Yeah, well, it's got a conjugated verb both sides. I mean, you don't always need a conjugated verb both sides when using it. Lo que quiero comer is okay, and you can say lo que te hace falta is perfectly good. What you need is, so you don't need the conjugated verb both sides. You do if it's lo cual.
But did you give you some other examples as well? But this one was just sort of the first thing he explained, and I thought that was a good example for that. And then I realized it doesn't go in there, and I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
He did. It was the man who, it was super fast Spanish, or
Yeah.
that video.
It was like that 15-minute video. He went into quite a lot of detail at the beginning about scientific stuff, etc.
Yeah. And what did he had? He said, did he say there has to be a?
The comment was, if it's congregated both sides, then it does. then that's when you use locate, is what he actually said. But
Yes.
maybe that's the rule, but not all rule. It doesn't work in every case. That's with the case.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if that's what he said, it's not right, because you don't have to, with loqual, you do need to refer to something that you've already said in the sentence, and that generally requires a conjugated verb either side of the phrase. But with loque, no, it can go at the beginning of the sentence, and it often does, because often
He gave that example of it going at the beginning of
as
the
well. Yeah, it was. it was just that you can only use it if it's congregated both sides. I think the point he was trying to make was you can't use if it's congregated one side and then infinitive the other side.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yes,
So
thank
when
you.
it's used to join two phrases,
Yeah,
each phrase or whatever you call it has to have a conjugated verb in it.
yeah.
But he gave the other examples like you've got here with loque at the beginning and
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have another crack at loque in a little while. I think when you learn Spanish, you know, immersively as you would as a child or as an adult being thrown into Spanish speaking society, and you just sort of picking it up, you'd pick up loque and you'd pick up the right way to use it. But obviously we don't have that advantage. And maybe the more we practice, the more sense it will make to us. So, Crimen in Barcelona. Has everybody been able to get hold of the book? Is anybody still?
Yeah.
No, I'm still waiting, Eric.
Are you? Okay.
Yep.
You're just going to have to read 4 chapters, John. When?
Yeah, it should come at the end of the week.
Okay. So I don't know. Last time we had last time we used a book, we did some reading and then sort of discussion. I don't know if obviously we had a couple of hours in the lesson last time. We're limiting these videos lessons, these Zoom lessons, to an hour. Do you want to? I mean, maybe what I could do is put the book at the end of the lesson, and if we finish quickly, we could try some reading. Do people find it useful reading, or are you happy to read on your own and just discuss afterwards?
I think
Discuss.
it's okay to read.
Discuss afterwards,
Yeah. Okay.
It's good.
it's good to read.
especially the tenses.
I'm happy now.
You don't get very much opportunity to speak Spanish. That's the
No.
thing.
I think it's
Yeah.
good.
Reading is like a way to do that, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, shall we do some quick reading?
Yep.
Who are the keen readers? I can't pick John because he's not got the book.
I'll have a go.
Tony, do you want to kick us off? You can read the first half of the first page if you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. El martes 1 de febrero, Nadie fue a trabajar a la aerolínea. A las I'm sorry, my mind went into French there.
Numbers always get you. Says y dice.
Y dice, los empleados de Aleres Airlines recibieron la noticia en sus celulares.
Yeah.
Lamentamos comunicarlos que Felipe Amado ha fallecido. El día de hoy, la compañía permanecerá cerrada por duelo. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Great. Yeah. Airlines is a horrible word to say in Spanish. Aerolíneas. Yeah, it's and Aéreas Aerolíneas is.
Aerolíneas. Yeah, sorry about that, Eric.
I mean, it's a terrible word, isn't it?
Well,
I've looked over it quite a bit. Did everybody get the final bit there? Cerrada por duelo. Did everybody translate that happily?
It's
No.
Well, not happily.
No.
I had a bit. I thought, what on earth does that mean?
It's dollar.
And
Close for morning.
So dollar.
Mm.
yeah, so it's from doler, pain. So it means really from through pain or through grief. So the business is closed through grief. Yeah. So Maggie, you were a keen reader. I heard your voice. Do you want to finish the page for us, or down to the last full sentence on the page?
Right, okay. Gente se sorprendió con la noticia. La mayoría de los empleados quería mucho a Felipe. Ahora todos están muy apenados. Aparentemente el CEO de la compañía apareció muerto en su propia oficina. Lo encontraron sin vida el lunes a las 11:40.
40.
Las empleadas de limpieza golpearon la puerta de su oficina durante media hora.
Great, thank you.
Eric, sorry, when we've read before, we took it in turns, or the next person tried to translate it.
All right.
I don't know whether that's worth it.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? We can do that by all means. By all means. Just are you volunteering to translate that, Bryn?
Well, I'll have a go anyway. But,
well, before you do, just let me pick Maggie up on just a couple of things. You gave us a northern U in there, mucho. Obviously, it's going to be mucho. And isn't Spanish? The Spanish are a sexist lot. So did you notice that they had the majority of the employees were empleados, male or a mixture of male and female. But when it came to the cleaner, people identified as female, empleadas. I don't know. Casual sexism. Casual sex. Do you want to do the translation, Bryn? Is that okay?
Just try anyway. There's one or two words here which I had to look up. But,
okay.
The people were surprised with the news. The older of the employers liked Philippe very much, and now they were all very sad. Apparently, the CEO of the company appeared dead in his own office. He was found without life on Monday at 11:40. The employees, the cleaning people, employees hit the door of his office for a half an hour.
Yeah.
As they got no response, they called the...
They haven't read that yet.
Yeah, well, Bryn, it's typical Bryn, you're getting way ahead of us all.
Sorry.
Thank you, that's nice. Mayoria is majority, not the older one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, right.
Mayoria, yeah. But great, apart from that. So who's going to finish? Who's a good reader? Suzanne's an excellent reader. Would you take us to the end of the chapter, Suzanne? Would you be able to do that?
I'll try. Okay. Como no tuvieron respuesta, llamaron a los empleados de seguridad. Ellos derribaron la puerta y entraron a la oficina. La vieron sentado en el sillón principal con la cabeza sobre el escritorio. Desde la puerta le preguntaron, Señor Amador, ¿se encuentra bien? Como no respondía, se acercaron un poco más al escritorio. Cuando llegaron al salón, se dieron cuenta. Felipe no estaba respirando, estaba muerto.
Yeah, good, good. Okay, Jane, do you fancy translating?
I'll have a go. I'm not
Yeah.
how good I'll be. As there was no response, they called the security employees. They broke the door down, I see, and entered the office. Lo
Loviera.
I'm not sure that is.
So it's him they saw seated in the main armchair. So they saw him seated in.
In the main chair, in his chair, with his head on his desk. They asked from the door, Senor Amador, are you okay?
Yeah, do we?
Or are you well? As there was no response, is that moved or something a little closer to the desk?
Yeah, yeah.
When I think the chair. I don't know that one.
When they reached the chair, is to arrive, but you know you can. So when they got to the chair, I think we would say.
Said nothing. Was Quint.
They realised the problem.
It became clear.
Yeah, they realised.
It became clear that
Yeah.
Felipe wasn't breathing. He was dead.
Yeah. No, estaba muerto. It always seems odd to me that they use estar for being dead because it's a state. Inherent.
Well, they're religious people, Eric. So
yeah. I kind of think, you know, when we do ser, we always say, well, use ser for things that are permanent. It's pretty permanent, isn't it? But no, estar is the correct use of it. Okay, I think we'll just do the one chapter of this, and for the next week we'll do the next two chapters. What I'll do is I'll push the book to the end of the lesson, and then if we want to run over a bit with reading, we can do. But we've got some more reading coming up in our conversation piece. So we can do it there. How are you finding the standard or the degree of difficulty of the book? Is it
just right?
Is it making, yeah?
Mhm.
It's B1,
It's good.
so it's for intermediates. Yeah.
Eric, I don't know if it's worth saying, but if people have got Kindle Unlimited, they can get loads of these intermediate books for free with Kindle Unlimited.
That's worth doing. Do you read on the Kindle? Do you read Spanish on the Kindle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I for some reason I don't know. I find it quite hard to read Spanish on the Kindle. I do like my Kindle, but I just seem to have a block about reading Spanish on it. I know a lot of people do. Can you load a Spanish dictionary?
Just touch one word and it translates it instantly.
That makes that's quite handy, isn't it? Yeah, maybe I should have another go. But yeah, it's great to get free books because these are quite expensive otherwise.
Of course, the other thing as well, you can get the audio as well, so you can listen to them as well as read them.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah, I just made a note about CEO. I was quite surprised to see CEO used as an abbreviation in Spanish. Normally, their abbreviations are quite different to the ones that we use. Apparently, CEO in Spanish can stand for Consejera Ejecutiva. Gosh, it's a hard word to say that. Oficial Isada. But you might also see MAE, Maxima Autoridad Ejecutivo, which means, you know, main executive authority, we'd say, wouldn't we? So you may see MAE as well as CEO. I'm just a bit surprised by that. Okay, we got a little bit more reading now, and this is nice easy Spanish. I'm not giving you this in advance because what I'd like you to do is read it, and then we'll have a little chat about it. I think you'll understand this quite well, and if there's a few words that you don't understand, I think you'll get them in context. So I hope you'll get the meaning of this, even if you're not understood every word, which is sort of where you should be in a Spanish conversation, maybe at this stage. So lo que necesito es 3 actores para las partes de Nuria, Alicia y una taxista. So 3 actors I need. So we mustn't choose the same people that we chose last time. Who are we going to choose for the taxi driver? Ken, how about you? Is that you? Yeah. Debbie, do you fancy being Nuria?
Yep, can do.
Excellent, great. And how about Lorna? Did we choose you last week, Lorna?
No.
No, so we should we can choose you this week to be Nuria.
I'm Nuria.
You're Nuria. Sorry, I'd be a terrible casting director. I've already forgotten who I've cast. So you're Alicia, and so we have our 3 parts. Okay, so Nuria y Alicia salen del hotel y buscan un taxi para ir a Mercado de las Ranas. Okay, over we go.
No veo ningún taxi. ¿Y tú?
Allí viene uno. Levanta la mano.
Hola, señor.
Hola, muchachas. ¿Dónde vas?
Vamos al Mercado de las Ranas.
Es en el barrio de las letras, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Muy bien. Vamos. Vas a comprar antiguidades. Antigüedades.
Yes, it's a tough one, isn't it? Yeah. Once you say it a few times, it all makes sense.
Antigüedades.
Exactamente.
Gracias.
Tal vez. Yo soy historiadora del arte. Me gustan mucho las antigüedades.
Qué interesante. Madrid es una ciudad. Can't see the last word. Yeah. What's the last word? I can't see it.
Viena.
Thank you.
Vienas,
De arte. ¿Tú también eres historiana del arte?
No, yo soy escritora.
Muy bien. ¿Qué escribes?
Escribo libros de misterio.
Qué interesante. En el mercado de las ranas también hay misterios.
¿De verdad?
Claro. En el mercado de las ranas hay muchos objetos robados.
Robados. Good.
Robados.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody happy with what's going on there?
Yeah.
From the last word, Rubados, I didn't know that one.
Stolen. Yeah, it's from
Sure.
Rob.
Rob.
Yeah. stolen objects, robbed objects. Let me just get back to the beginning. So they're after a taxi. Ai or aji is here. Now there's another word for here, isn't there? That's aki.
Okay.
Now, if something is moving to here, you always use the word ai or aji, depending on your pronunciation. So when I want the dog to come to me, I give her a come command in the imperative, ven aji or ven ai. She understands both equally well. But because the dog is moving toward me here, you use aji. So if I wanted to say the dog is here, el perro es aquí. So that's the slight difference there. Levanta la mano, put your hand up. Quite useful. I thought this taxi driver was a bit, little bit familiar, wasn't he? Muchachas. I mean, I don't know whether a couple of professional ladies would have been happy to be called muchachas. It's
Eric,
yeah.
it says taxista. So does that mean the taxi driver is a woman?
No, it's a feminine noun. Taxi
Oh, right.
drivers, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and he addresses them in the informal as well, doesn't he? He's being yeah. You think maybe Spanish taxi drivers aren't as respectful as English taxi drivers.
What's the difference, and Eric? The muchachas. What's the? I mean, as opposed to girls.
Girls, yeah. Hi, girls. I think it's a term you'd use for young girls. You know, kids.
Okay.
Or certainly younger. I wouldn't have expected these two, who I've got as sort of, you know, mid to late 20s professionals, to be muchachas. You can also say muchachos as well for hi lads, hi guys. Yeah.
Could it be an age thing though, Eric? If he's an old guy and he just sees them as young girls?
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, it's interesting, and this is why we read things like this, isn't it? It's so we can learn how to use the language in a way that they would do. I mean, the guy who wrote this is Argentinian, and I don't have a lot of experience of Argentinian Spanish, but my daughter-in-law says it's a completely different language in Argentina. So it may be that his view of it is maybe not quite so. So the word for antiques, when you get a U following a G, the U isn't pronounced, isn't sounded, unless it has the two little dots over the top, which are called, you know what they're called, diareses or diareses, something like that. And then it is sounded. Normally the U is there and it hardens the G. So GE would normally be a soft G, a h sound. But when you've got the U after it, it hardens the G to a G sound. So G. When it has the dots over the U, you have to sound the U as well. So antiguedades. Antiguedades. And the stress should be on the penultimate syllable, dad. So antiguedades. Yeah. A funny word. If you say it to yourself 4 or 5 times, you sort of get you get it. Que interesante. How interesting. All useful little things that we can use in conversations ourselves. Yeah.
Interesante.
de verdad. Really? Truly?
Exactamente.
Yeah, is that right? And claro, I hear claro so often in conversation. Yeah, right. Yes, it's an affirmative word. So so that's quite a useful thing. So we'll do another chapter. We've got a lot of chapters. They are nice and short. So hopefully it's a level, it's below intermediate level. So I'm kind of hoping that we all understand it pretty well. There will be the odd word we don't know, but I'm kind of hoping that we get most of it pretty well. Good. On we go. So, talking about the past, and as I said earlier, I do struggle with past tenses, particularly the preterit tense. And we use it a lot in English, and we use it a lot in Spanish. And in English, it seems pretty easy. We just take the verb and we add ed on the end of it. And so that's what happens in most cases. I worked is the past tense. But it's only when you start to come across somebody who's learning English, either as a second language or as a toddler, that you realize how many exceptions there are in English.
True.
My little grandson Arthur was over on Saturday, and I was having a long chat with him, and it was quite funny how often he used the past tense and put ed at the end. So he'd say things like, I thinked, I see, and now obviously I smacked him every time he got it wrong. Not really. I didn't correct him at all, but he'll just pick it up because he hears people saying the right thing. And seed is one of those that I seed him. You hear that a lot from adults. My father-in-law never said saw; he always said seed. And I think it was they say it a lot in the northeast as well. I think it's a sort of regional variation in speech. Do they say it in Yorkshire, Tony? I seed it. Have you come across that in Yorkshire? No?
No, I don't think so.
No, maybe it stops at the Yorkshire border. They get it right in Yorkshire, and it sort of goes wrong when it crosses into North.
I know what they say. I know what they're saying, Court. I seen him when he done it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's just over 100 irregular ones because I had to learn them all at school.
Did you? Right. Okay.
Well, I wasn't
So,
born
yeah.
to learn it. I had
my
to do it
grandson-
myself. So
No.
yeah, I remember the lists.
Yeah. Good. Well, I've got some irregular Spanish ones coming up, so you can having struggled through the English irregular ones, there's some Spanish ones for you as well, Suzanne. I'm very sorry. So back in 2019, it seems like another lifetime now, doesn't it? We looked at 6 verbs in the preterit, and they were 3 regular and 3 irregular. We did an AR, an ER, and an IR verb, visitar, comer, and subir, and 3 irregular ones, estar, hacer, and ir. And you maybe remember that the conjugations for ir are exactly the same as for ser. A nice little bonus for us. We don't get that many bonuses in Spanish, but it's always nice to have one. So when we come across a cognate that we haven't come across before, it always feels good. And when I've had to conjugate the past tense, remember that ir and ser are the same. That's I always think, what a blessing that is. Okay, so conjugating regular verbs. Now, this is regular verbs only in the preterit. we've got these endings. And again, another little bonus here for us is that regular ER verbs and regular IR verbs have the same endings. So we don't have to learn lots of different endings. And you know the form here. We take the stem of the verb, we knock the AR, ER or IR off, and we're left with the stem. And we add a new ending. So visitar, to visit. I visited, visité. You visited, visitaste. He, she, visitó. We visitamos. Vosotros visitasteis. And ustedes, ellos visitaron. Now, with verbs in the preterit, there is some confusion between o and endings, because I visit, visito is fine, isn't it? I visit, but that also means you visited, or he visited, he, she visited. Now the stress in the past tense, in the preterite tense, there's a stress right at the end of the verb, and it's a tricky one to get right. Visitó, it's got to be stressed. Visité, which tells the Spanish listener that you're in the preterite, and therefore they understand the conjugation that you're doing. The same for I and io. You've got to hit the end of the verb. So those are our regular verb conjugations. There's a lot to learn there. It's probably best if we learn it as we go along, practicing sentences, and we'll do a fair bit of that. I want to get us really confident in talking in the simple past tense, the preterite tense, over the next few weeks. So we're gonna practice that. So I hope you all turn up next week. I know how much you love conjugations in the preterite. So I'm sure you'll all be here, your friends, and they'll be here too. I'll put links to a couple of videos, because, you know, sitting and staring at a list of verb endings isn't going to teach us anything, except that we probably need to go to the opticians. But if we try and break it up with putting it in a few sentences, using it in a practical way, and also checking out some videos, then we should be it should be a lot easier. In addition to the yawning, in addition to the regular verbs, there's a few irregulars. I hope there's not. How many did you say there was in English, Suzanne? 100?
Just over 100.
Just over 100. Hope there's not that many in Spanish. But I've put a little list here of the main irregular ones. And don't forget that ser and ia are the same, so that saves us a little bit of work. But these verbs are a lot, you know, these irregular verbs are ones that we'll use quite frequently. Da, I gave. There, I saw. Hacer, I did, I made. Querer, I wanted. You know, these are verbs that you'll use a lot, and it's a bit annoying that they've decided to make them irregular. But there is a slight pattern in most of the irregular ones, so they should start to become a bit more familiar to you as we go along, and we will keep practicing until we get there. One of my favorite irregulars is dijiste. You said, so decir, to say, dijiste, you said, and I used it a lot for asking people, what did you say? Que dijiste? What did you say? Que dijiste? It's nicer if you say perdón, que dijiste? And I used it a lot, too much really, when I was in Ecuador last year. So often it was perdón, que dijiste? Soy inglés y no hablo español muy bien. And I found that often brought a smile and a few credits. They took it easier. They spoke a little more slowly for me after that. And I still didn't understand a lot of the time, but it is useful. Que dijiste? And it's not digiste, dijiste, dijiste, dijiste. You got to get your e and your dijiste. So okay, now this is a bit you're going to hate me for. Here we go. We've had a look at some verb endings. Can we get these? Can we do these sentences? Let me give you a minute or two, probably just a minute, to take a look at those, and then we're going to try to conjugate them. Last Monday, we visited the Prado. How about that first one, Ken? What do you think?
Visitamos. Sorry, el lunes pasada visitamos el Prado.
Good. Yeah, el Prado. Pasado, not pasada, because Monday is masculine. Yeah. Visitamos. So next one. Last night, Lucia ate at Pancho's restaurant. What would that be, Carl? Can you have a crack at that?
Esta noche, pasando, la noche pasando.
Last night is anoche. Just
Anoche, yes, anoche. 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 Como.
Comió.
En la Pancho's restaurante.
En el restaurante de Pancho. Sí. I climbed Snowdon in January. Susan, this sounds like the sort of thing you'd do, Susan Little. Can you do? I climbed. To climb is subir.
Subir, so it's subir.
Excellent, yeah.
Subir, Snowdon in January.
Yeah, I don't think you need the actually.
No.
El Snowdon, I would say, yeah.
Subir el Snowdon in January.
Yeah, they often use the. So I was often called the Eric, and they I climbed the Snowdon in January. We made a delicious cake this morning.
Missed one out.
I've missed one out, haven't I? Were you in Nerja last week? Great place, Nerja. John, what do you think about that?
Well, eras tú en Nerja la semana pasada?
Were you? Now I've used the informal estuviste en
sí, estuviste
la semana pasada. We made delicious cake this morning. Beryl.
Hicimos is it un pastel delicioso?
Esta mañana.
Esta mañana, yeah, pretty good. Yeah, that's great. They went to Blackpool to see the lights, Jill.
Fueron a Blackpool para ver las lumieres, I'm guessing.
Luces, that's luces, the lights. Yeah.
Luces.
I don't know whether Blackpool lights would be classed as lights or illuminations or something, but I just put.
You have to put the A before the Blackpool.
Yeah, ear always has an A. You always era. You never just ear. Yeah. I visited the Alhambra when I went to Spain last year. I think Alan visited the year before. This needs an expert Spanish speaker, so I think we should choose Bryn for this.
Yo visité Alhambra cuando fui a España.
Yeah.
El año pasado creo que Alan visitó. I say
Ante.
Sorry.
El año anterior. Yeah.
Oh.
Good. That's
pretty good.
That went pretty well, I think. Let's just have a look at these. Last Monday we visited the Prado. So visitamos could be we are visiting or we visited. It's one of these where you have to decide which it is by using context. So in this sentence, there's a big clue because it starts last Monday, and it sort of indicates that it's the preterit. You really do depend on context to get this one. Anoche Lucia comió en el restaurante de Pancho. Subí el Snowdon en enero. Excellent. Were you in Nerja last week? Estuviste en Nerja la semana pasada. Hicimos un delicioso pastel esta mañana. They went to Blackpool to see the lights. Fueron a Blackpool a ver las luces. So illuminations might be different. I visited the Alhambra when I went to Spain last year. I think Alan visited the year before. Visité la Alhambra cuando fui a España el año pasado. Creo que Alan lo visitó el año anterior. So in that last one, we have got, visité and visitó. And it's important to stress the verb ending to enable us to have a better understanding. I think that went quite well. Well done, everybody. So some verbs.
Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, can I ask a question?
Yeah, Ken.
Why the low? Why have you got the low in front of visitor?
He visited. Yeah.
Visited it.
Okay. You said Alan visited. Yeah. Okay. Low.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pronoun he. Alan. He visited. Even if you, there's this odd thing in Spanish, isn't it? That even if you use the person's name, you still need the pronoun in there.
Okay, thank you.
So where am I? Here we are. I lost my place. So some verbs in Spanish need an a after the verb. We're all very familiar with era In fact, we were just talking about it, to go to. But there are others, and conocer, there, visit, that should be visitar, not visitor. Buscar, esperar, llamar, all examples where you need an A after the verb, when the verb has a person as a direct object, as opposed to a thing or an animal. So let's give you some examples, because that bit of grammar speak's quite hard to understand. I visited Madrid last week. Visité Madrid la semana pasada. No need for the a. I visited Madrid. Visité Madrid. Madrid. No need for the a. I visited my mother yesterday. Ayer visité a mi madre. You need the a because the direct object is a person. Okay.
Edit, your slides are not changing.
You should have I visited my mother yesterday at the bottom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, now, yes.
Yeah. Ayer visité a mi madre. You need the a. Visité a. So if it's a thing or an animal that follows the verb, you don't need the a. If it's a person, you do. So let's try these. Do you know Juan?
Juan.
Juan.
So does it need the a or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I met my wife in Acapulco. Do we need the a?
Yes.
Yes.
We could do with a voting button on.
You can push the raise hand button.
Yeah, yes or no. Yeah. I looked everywhere for my wallet.
No. No.
I called Maria this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Do you know Juan? ¿Conoces a Juan? I met my wife in Acapulco. Conocí a mi esposa en Acapulco. I looked everywhere for my wallet. Busqué mi billeta por todas partes. Don't need it. I called Maria this morning. Llamé a Maria esta mañana. Now, our hour is up, as the psychiatrist would say to the person on the couch. Don't think you quite need psychiatry anymore. We've got a few more things to go through with this, but I think we'll leave it until next week, and we'll push on. Has anybody any questions about today's lesson? Anything that we want to talk about? I'll send the notes round, and I'll send a link to the video as well, so you can take a look. You can take a look on YouTube too. Okay.
Eric,
Yes, Rose?
the YouTube thing you keep going on about. Could you, when you do your notes, could you do an address, or do I just type in Eric's notes?
No. What I did last week was send the notes round through the U3A email system.
Yeah, got that.
And so the notes
The
were
link's in there.
and the link was in the text of the email. So you should just click it and go to it. Yeah.
Right, I'll find
It's
it.
the highlighted blue text. If you click on that, it goes to the video.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you're on the Facebook group, I also put a link up in the Facebook group as well.
No, I'm not on that.
Yeah.
How do I get on the link if I go via iPad? Do I just tap on that the blue text?
Yeah, it should be as simple as that. Yeah,
It will go straight to the YouTube on the in Safari.
Okay, thank you.
It opens Safari up for you, and it will load the video up as well. And then if you click on the next one, you just have to push play.
Okay, thank you.
Good. I'm not an iPad user, you see. Can't afford an iPad. I'm just a poor retired.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you very much. Well done, everybody.
Thank you, Eric.
I hope
you,
hope
Eric.
you don't get too fed up with the past tense, but we'll keep banging away.
Thank you, Eric.
I'll
Thank
see you all next week.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next week.
bye.
Hasta luego. You can think about it now if you want, John.